bagel.
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 A bagel.
Bagel.
Bagel. Bagel. A bagel. Bagel.
A bagel.
Bagel.
We're back. So I'm giving Ian, if you noticed, I retoasted the Royal Bakery bagel. Look at the golden brown difference. So the lesson we're learning here is these bagels have to be reheated unless you get them at 6 o'clock in the morning. All right? So you could tell they already got the crunch to them. So now the bagel, we're going to use it as a vessel.
Could you tell me where the nuclear vessels are?
Ooh, I don't know if I know the answer to that.
We're going to use it as a vessel to put all this other stuff on. So when you mix all this other stuff together, now you're going to have layers of flavor. You're going to have lox. You're going to have the heirloom tomatoes. You're going to have onion. And for Ian, because he loves his seasoning, I took the seasoning that fell out of the bag, which is like perfect because it's the stuff from this morning, and I'm just going to garnish it on top. So let's build this thing. All right. So we're going to use just some light cream cheese. Some people like heavy cream cheese. I'm not particular. If I want more fat and really want to get rid of my six-pack abs, then and it's time to do the schmear. All right, everybody knows the term schmear because you gotta schmear the bagel on. All right, and that's pretty close to a schmear. Please feel free to resort to your own schmearing technique. I'm sure there's a YouTube video. How to do a schmear the right way and not insult friends and family. Okay, I mean, you saw that one, right, Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Ian said, before I picked him up this morning, he's like, do you mind? I'm trying to watch the end of the schmear video.
That's right.
Yeah, so, all right. So we don't want to put like 80 pounds of cream cheese on here. We just want to schmear, right? So schmear. Consider this schmeared, which is now, I guess that's a verb or an adjective, whatever. I'm an English teacher, sad. Okay, so, all right, it's schmeared. Okay, so we got that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the smaller stuff on, and then we're going to cover it with the lox. So let's get some heirloom tomatoes on. And I'm going to do this on both sides for him. All right. And again, I'm not like measuring. I'm just doing it by feel. Just putting it on there. So each layer at a time. And remember, these tomatoes are going to bring a serious sweetness to this. Because remember what we got here. We got cream. We got a crunchy bagel. We got sweet, gorgeous heirloom tomatoes. Okay. Now I'm going to put some onion on there because I like something about fish and onions. I don't know. I like sardines and
Can't go wrong.
like there's something about or you ready for this one? You want to have the worst breath possible. You wake up in the morning, you have a cup of coffee, you have tuna fish, onion on a bagel, and you drink your coffee. People will avoid you for years. It is like the ultimate, right? the ultimate in halitosis, right? All right, so and this is sort of like I'm doing this by feel, a balancing act. This isn't a baking recipe, so I'm not going to say, well, use a teaspoon. Screw that. All right, so now we've got these. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the capers on here because if you put the capers on top, they fall off. They're like, they're shaped like a ball. So we're going to put some capers in here, and just because we wanted that briny, salty pop, because this lox.
Top of the veggies?
Well, this lox isn't salty. In fact, we're going to add seasoning to it, Ian. So
the capers go on top of what?
No, I'm putting them. So here's your bagel. I put the schmear of cream cheese. Then I put the tomatoes. Then I put the onions. Then I put the capers.
Okay.
And I'm going to put the lox over it like a blanket.
Got it.
All right. So even if you bite into it and stuff falls everywhere, it's still got the covering of a blanket.
Excellent.
Yeah, you'll love this. Okay, so that's done. So now we use this really expensive fork. I don't know. I think it was mail ordered from somewhere, and because that's really going to change the taste of the
Schmear
lox.
warehouse.
You know that? Yeah, really. It's not about the lox. It's about the
schmear.
It's about the crap that you buy from Amazon that really makes the bagel taste better. All right. So this lox is sliced in a very thin way, which is really gorgeous, actually. All right, and I don't want the pieces too big. I just want them coated on there. And how many ounces? I don't know. Whatever the package says. I want to read right now. I got a handful of fish. All right. So let's say that's sufficiently covered, which is cool. Except for me, that would never be enough lox. So I'm putting more of it on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dude, we're not going to be cheap here. This video is costing millions of dollars, so, you know, so. And thank you, Charles, for canceling your tour schedule to film our thing.
Exactly.
We really appreciate that.
It's just the tour schedule.
All right, let's get a little bit more of the lox on here. I think that'll be good. All right, so again, this isn't that like Nova salty lox or the belly lox. That's why we have salt in the bagel. We have salt. You know, all right, now in the capers, that's what I meant to say. All right, so now here's the stuff which is totally optional. I'm gonna take some lemon pepper. This is fresh, I just bought this. Oh yeah, so we're gonna put some coarse ground lemon pepper on here. All right, which is, wait for it, lemon and pepper. Okay, that was pretty deep, right?
Splendid.
And now we're gonna take some dill.
Dill. I beg your pardon? Dillweed in the cabinet.
Which people use on salmon, you know, Gravlax has dill on it. But dill and salmon work really nicely together. So I'm gonna take some kosher salt, and I'm just gonna lightly put it on. Remember, we got a lot of salt going on here, but I'm not trying to over salt it. I just want it to pop a little bit. And because Ian likes everything seasoning, I took the everything seasoning from the bag, and I'm just gonna decorate the top of this thing. And Charles, I hope you get a close up of this because we are just about done. This is gonna be one sexy portion here.
Question.
And, oh yeah, there's plenty of seasoning on this bagel.
Damn, son.
All right, and just to make it cute, let's put a little heirloom tomato on the top, just because.
Presentation.
Yeah, you got to have that presentation. All right, Charles, what do you think of that for my boy Ian?
Tilt it up.
Damn.
How's that?
Beautiful.
I mean, you see that? And
Yeah,
here, I'll
nice.
go around the other side. Maybe you can get a close up.
Yeah.
Because when he bites into it, it's going to go all over the place, but he's going to love it, and he's not going to care.
It's true.
All right, so now I'm going to serve my boy Ian. So Ian, right in front of you. All right, so here it is. No pressure.
Ian takes a great big bite.
Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, we have awesomeness.
So I put my bagel together, just like I put your bagel together and his bagel together. I decided I was going to use the sesame bagel because it had to be toasted anyway. And I always, you know, can add more of the everything seasoning, which you could get from the bottom of the bag, or you could go to Trader Joe's and actually buy everything seasoning, which is super convenient, really, really easy. So toasted the bagel, same thing. Layered, smeared cream cheese, the tomato, the onion, the capers, and then I like to season up my lox. So I've got on here lemon pepper, dill, some fresh ground pepper, and like I said, the rest of the seasoning. Right, now time for the big bite.
Awesomeness.
Look at it, look at me. All right, so we're done eating. As you can tell by, this is the short version of the dishes. My cutting board is completely decorated with lots of crumb from the bagels and lots of seasoning, which that's not a problem. I mean, you got to make a mess or else, you know. And I guess the bagels are ready. No, it was It was the coffee machine. All right, doesn't mind. You'll clean that up in post, right? Because apparently you could do these amazing things in post. So, final thoughts. We just devoured the bagels, and what did you think of it with all the stuff on it, like the before and after, plain versus?
Oh yeah, well, we're definitely more stuff. You know, why go to all the trouble if it's going to be boring? Kind of a guy. That's what I do. That's what I think.
What I am is what I am. You, what you are, or what?
You know, that's how I enjoy my bagels and such. You know, whatever you can put on there that's half sensible, which, you know, you're, you know, a master of such great ideas. Thanks for much for lunch.
Me?
Awesomeness.
Oh no, my pleasure. So,
Tomatoes, onions, capers, lots of cream cheese.
oh, you gotta have all
I
that.
don't see how you could go wrong.
Yeah, you can't. But it all starts with a great bagel. Okay, that means a bagel. Crunch, fluff, crunch, seasoning on both sides, not a one-sided bagel, which is annoying, not just to me, but to many people across the nation. What else? So I think what we're going to do is, this is the start of our beautiful journey of Beat a Bagel, and we're going to try some other places next time, to be announced or to be determined. And what are we going to do? So which bagel beats which bagel? This is Beat a Bagel. So what's your verdict? You give your verdict and I'm going to give mine.
Right.
No pressure.
All right. All right.
There's only 80,000 people watching.
Yeah, I mean, to my slight surprise and disappointment, I chose, the less splendidly authentic option, the Royal Bakery's version of the everything. Bagel, I just thought their seasoning was just a bit more wonderful, and though I get it that the basis of Bagels and Grinds product was actually a little more authentic, having a better sourdough kind of thing going on.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to explain when people say to me, hey, what's a New York bagel? It's like a really hard question to answer. It's got a sourdough flavor to it, but it's also got the Annie Ann's pretzel, remember we were talking about, with that barley malt? So it's kind of got that flavor to it. It's not white bread, plus the water, everyone says, oh, what makes a great bagel? It's definitely, the water has to do something with it. I've been back and forth with chefs about this. The water's got to be decent.
It's all about the water, don't you know? Ginger needs the water, the H2O. It's all about the water, it ain't no lie. Without the water, we shrivel up and die.
The water that they use in New York came from the Catskills, picks up a lot of minerals along the way. There's something just very unique about New York water. You gotta have a high gluten flour, you gotta have malt, you gotta have salt. If you don't have those things, it's not a bagel, it's white bread. So the part that you can't figure out is, if it's not sourdough and it's not the Annie Ann's pretzel kind of malty flavor, then what is it? So that's what we're going to continuously be on a quest to look for. So until next time, I'm Evan. You have a name?
I'm Ian.
Evan and Ian, and we are Beat a Bagel.
A bagel. A bagel. A bagel. A bagel. A bagel. A bagel. A bagel. A bagel. Bagel. A bagel. A bagel.